First County Assembly, together with Honorable Brenda, Bill B, will not interfere whatsoever to the decision that will be arrived at this committee. Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Brenda. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. My name's David Maritim, MCA Chipsy Onward. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. My name is Paul Chirchiri Tarimbo, MCA Kapsoit Ward, Ainamoi Sub-County, Kericho County, and a member of Committee on Appointments. Karibu, Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Brenda, my name is Kiprotich Rogony, MCA Sigawet Ward, Sigawet Soin constituency. I'm a member of this committee. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Brenda, my name is Coril Vincent. I represent the great people of Londiani Ward and Kipkelion East Sub-County, and a member of this committee. Congratulations for making it to be nominated as CEC.
Thank you.
Public Service.
Thank you. My name is Aranita Mibei from Chemosa toward Bureti Sub-County. I want to wish you well.
Thank you.
Two of our members have stepped out, but they will be here. One on my far right, if you see him, his name is Anthony Ruta, the MCA for Kipkelion Ward, and also a member of this committee. And we have Mheshimiwa also sitting on that far end, Honorable Dominic Mutai, the MCA for Kabianga, and a member for this committee. Secretariat, please introduce yourselves to the nominee. And I hope that you have circulated already your academic credentials.
Yes, I have.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Mibei, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Services.
My name is David Thiongo, Clerk Assistant to the Committee on Appointments.
I am Kipkurui Bernard, Research Officer.
I'm Patrick Corel, Registry.
Good afternoon. I'm Koros Chiriot, Director, Human Resource and Administration.
I'm Priska Mosonik, PR Officer.
Yeah, Mheshimiwa Anthony, I had described you, I had informed the nominee that when you see them, one of the darkest gentlemen in this room, then that must be Anthony Ruto. Please introduce yourself to the nominee.
Anthony Ruto, MCA Kipkelion Ward.
Thank you.
Kipkelion West constituency. Congratulations, madam.
Thank you.
But not with a dark hat. Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. Brenda Bill B, my name is Dr. Patrick Mutai. I am the chairman for this appointment committee. You are here before this committee, and of course, from the comments by Chiriot Bate, and also I am also aware that you are among the pioneer MCAs. Of course, you know the mandate of the Committee for Appointment is to vet the appointments by the governor as per Article 179(2) of the Constitution. Of course, we also interacted with you at that time where I was working as the CC for Finance and Economic Planning. But I also want to make it very clear that for the purposes of this appointment, it shall not affect the outcome of the report by the appointment committee. Of course, the rules of engagement, we are here. We intend to be with you for a maximum of 1 hour, depending how we will engage. And all questions and answers shall be addressed to the chair. Brenda, we will go straight to your introduction. And as you introduce yourself, I want you to introduce yourself comprehensively, touching on all the way from your name, family, of course where you come from, the work experience, employment records. You can note it down so that you don't forget. I've said work experience, employment record, honors and awards, if any. Whether you are a member of any professional association and membership, if any. And also you can tell us whether your political engagements, that's political activities and any affiliations, if any, and whether also you have ever been dismissed before. The other thing that you may touch upon is on the issues of pro bono or charity works, and if any, you can tell us the amount and maybe time and the institutions. The other main thing, of course, is your education background, and also you can also link both education, work experience to the docket that you have been nominated to in your introduction. Further, if you have any published writings, you can share with this committee. Tell us if any. The other thing is on potential conflicts of interest, should you be nominated successfully to this position, and whether also if there are no, if you can't tell us now those potential conflicts, then should they arise in future, how will you handle them? The reason why I'm putting all these questions is that we have a vetting criteria that we want to summarize in form of your introduction, so that we don't take you one by one, because we may spend a lot of time. So you can also talk about, you can also tell us whether you have ever been charged in a court of law in the last 3 years, and whether you have been adversely mentioned in any investigatory report of Parliament, County Assembly, or any commission. We will be glad and you share with us that as part of your introduction. But however, we don't limit you. Feel free to tell us anything else that you feel that we should know as the committee for appointment. So, Brenda, Bill, this will be an interactive session, and feel free. Of course, you are under oath, and we expect that whatever you will share with this committee shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So I want to give you an opportunity. Take your time. You can take the whole time introducing yourself. And I also believe that there are some people from the gallery there. I want to believe those are part of your family members. And if so, they are welcome. Or a delegation perhaps from Ainamoi. So maybe you can introduce yourself when ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to begin by saying that this is a great honor to appear before this committee, having once participated in legislative activities on the floor of this House. It is a humbling experience for me to be here, and I am grateful. My name is Brenda Bilby. I was born in a village called Keongo in Ainamoi, and I finished my primary school education in Limani Grammar School in 1996. And proceeded to Moi Girls High School in Eldoret for my O-level. While I was in Moi Girls, Eldoret, I was an active member of drama club, music club, and I was very keen to study political science. My journey began in high school because I felt that I had a leadership skill that I needed to pursue. After my Form 4 in the year 2000, despite having qualified for university here in Kenya, my parents and I decided that it would be best to apply for a position at Makerere University, because that is where I wanted to attend, and they have one of the best political science degrees in Africa. That necessitated me going for my A-level in St. Lawrence Citizens College from 5 and 6. And I joined Makerere in the year 2004. I had my degree in political science and literature, and I graduated in 2009. After my graduation in January, I joined the Institute of Development Studies at the University of Nairobi for a project with the National Democratic Institute as a research assistant. I began my work in research because one of my specialties in campus was research methodology. So I began as a research assistant and I worked for a few months, and when the project ended, I joined the Standard Chartered Bank as a sales representative. After that, I joined a small startup company called Mtandao Wetu that dealt with web design, web designers, and I assisted to recruit the designers for their projects with individual clients. I participated in training the researchers, taking them through the company's requirements, and after that, because of my work at the National Democratic Institute, where I was administering questionnaires, we were involved in being able to find out, just after the 2010 Constitution, what the response was from the people and the inception of devolution. I was recognized by URP and got a nomination in 2013. I began my work on the floor of this house for 5 years, 2013 to 2017. And after that, I attempted and vied for Member of County Assembly for Kapsuser. My bid was not successful, and I went back home. I was already running my company, which is a bakery. As the owner of the bakery, I ran that company until 2020, and because of impact of COVID and high prices, I changed my model to a school, which I currently run up to date. I attempted again to vie in 2022, and I was still unsuccessful, but I participated heavily in campaigns for UDA. And after this, I got the opportunity to get nominated for this position, Public Service Management. I am grateful for the opportunity, and I'm happy to be here. I have no awards. I am not a member of any professional association. My political activities, I am an active member of UDA party, and I have mentioned before that I have participated both in legislation and also to try and attempt to become a representative. I have never been dismissed from any work. I participate in several charities. As a politically active person, I attend several harambes. I also participate in paying school fees for 3 children currently. I do not foresee any conflict at the moment, and should any arise, I will be able to inform the House. I have never been charged in any court. I am also married, and I'm a mother of 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for the comprehensive introduction of yourself. In your CV, you have indicated a list of referees, and I wish you confirm to the committee that their contacts are up to date, yes. And whether you have any objection, we contact them.
I don't.
No objection. Okay, thank you so much. The other thing, of course, Brenda, I know you have been a state officer before as the MCA, and you know matters of declaration of wealth. Just maybe you can tell us, Brenda Bill Ruto is worth how much? The statement on your net, financial net worth, and if you can attempt to break it down so that we can know the components. I know you know the reason why we are asking this. Should you be successful, you are expected to declare your wealth. So maybe you can share that with the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Together with my husband, we own a 4-acre piece of land. On that land, we have tea. We have a modest home. We have a small dairy unit of 5 cows, and it also houses our school, which is a kindergarten. And I have another plot of land which houses a bakery, a fully equipped bakery. So that comes to a total of 17 million.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brenda, for that. I think that forms part of our assessment form for the criteria for vetting you as per the legislations that are existing. Before I open the floor for members to engage with you, just wanted to maybe perhaps engage you on a matter that came up yesterday when we engaged with the nominee for finance and economic planning. He did mention to the committee that currently the wage bill stands at 41% of the total budget. And of course, that is a big challenge. You are also part of the first assembly, and you know and you are aware that we approved a legislation that we should not exceed 35% in terms of personal emoluments. But now as we speak, we have exceeded by 5% or 6%. Yet again, we still have understaffing in several departments. We are aware that there are some departments that are seriously understaffed, but again we are fighting the aspect of the wage bill. So I don't know how should you be successful, how you will address this aspect, the lack of resources vis-a-vis the requirements, so that we can have a complete organizational structure, which also, as Mheshimiwa in the past time, you are part of those who approved the organogram. So maybe you can just comment on that, and then I can open the floor.
Thank you, Chair. It is true that the current wage bill of Kericho County stands at 41%, which exceeds the cap that has been put at 35%. Wage bill is a variable of revenue, and I believe Kericho County has a better potential to collect more revenue as we stand. We have several revenue streams that we are not maximizing their efficiency. And I believe, given an opportunity to serve in this department, I will work very closely with my counterpart in finance to seal the gaps of where we are losing revenue in our county, and to also diversify our revenue collection streams. I think it is essential that as a county we embrace technology to be able to be part of the process where revenue is collected and managed prudently, so that we are not losing the revenue as well as the streams. I also know and I'm aware that several departments are highly understaffed. It is true that the organizational structure, despite having been passed, hasn't been well established. And I believe that it is going to be one of my key projects to ensure that the organogram is adhered to and the understaffing in the departments is sorted, because you know when departments are not well staffed, it affects service delivery and performance in the county. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Brenda. I want to open the floor, honorable members. Of course, we will. I'll encourage Brenda, the Honorable Brenda B, who is the nominee. Maybe you note the questions, and then you can respond to all of them at once. And then, members, we will take the last round of supplementary questions after the first round of questions. Honorable Anthony Ruta, and then I'll give to Dominic, and then I'll give to Honorable Anita, in that order.
Thank you, Chairman. Brenda, congratulations.
Thank you very much
for coming this far.
Thank you.
You are a nominee for the Public Service Management. What are some of the roles
Yes, you can continue, the Honorable Ruto.
Another question, Brenda. Immediately devolved units started functioning. Sub-county administrators were given vehicles to assist them in monitoring and implementation of programs in their sub-counties. Unfortunately, as we are speaking now, Brenda, especially in my sub-county and also neighboring sub-county, Kilian East, sub-county administrators do not have vehicles that can assist them in doing the same. The vehicles were taken in the name of taking them for service. For the last 3 or 4 years, they have been doing without vehicles. What mechanisms are you going to put in place to see to it that sub-county administrators and ward administrators are provided with vehicles, if in any case you are given this chance? Brenda, when I was going through your documents, I have seen that you are a human resource assistant. Human resource management and development is key as far as provision of quality services is concerned. How can you be able to apply the same to see to it that our human personnel are assisted so that they can be able to provide quality services to this county? Ward administrators, every ward was given an administrator to oversee the implementation of projects. It is unfortunate that everything overseeing of implementation projects is done by MCA. These people are not seen anywhere. If you are given the opportunity, what mechanisms are you going to put in place to see to it that these people can be able to stick to their roles and responsibilities? The last one. One of the functions of public service management is management of enforcement officers. This county took an initiative of training 781 law enforcement officers as a way of addressing pertinent issue of unemployment.
To ensure that it's been 10 years down the line since devolution, and we're still having challenges inherited from the national government. Maybe what actions would you take to see this solved once and for all, and have our workers happy with what they are doing? And just that adds up to, the public service delivery. Most of the time, the perception out, our staff on the public service are not as motivated as, and this maybe comes from maybe a few challenges that maybe happens in their place of work, maybe the environment they are in. There are cases that employees take months to be paid. Sometimes you hear it's been 3 months. We've not been paid for 6 months. And these are employees with families. They have bills to pay. And here, we are pushing them to deliver. We are pushing them to serve. So maybe from where you sit, if you can give us a good plan on how you're going to really handle this. Because it's a major concern, which maybe cuts across most counties. But what can we do differently as Kericho so that we motivate our staff, which in relation to that, we will also receive better service delivery to the people whom we are serving. And maybe just to finish on that, I'll also ask if along the way, once you're given this opportunity to serve, you would maybe take a survey, just an employee satisfaction survey, and also just do the customer side, now the people we serve, so that you can actually know where we are and how we can be able to actually do better as Kericho County when it comes to the service delivery. Thank you.
Yes, the Honorable Majority.
Thank you very much, Chair. Our nominee, I would like to know from you how you will handle the issue of what you say ghost workers, because that has been a question, and maybe most of the people believe that there are ghost workers around. Can you be able to admit that? And again, in the issue of maybe staff who have been stagnating for a long time, especially those who are in the lower cadre, how are you planning to ensure that they get a chance to be promoted to the next level? I would also like to know if administratively, the issues of the use of nyumba kumi or the village elders, because most of the time, maybe when you are implementing activities, we normally engage them to participate. Do you think they deserve to be given something as a token of appreciation? And again, we have the old in the society and the vulnerable. Do you also think that they should be given some stipend so that they can be able to appreciate as senior citizens in our county? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Brenda, you talked about, or somebody talked about organogram. Do we really have one? Because in this county, there are officers who do not even know what they are supposed to be doing. The ward administrators are not known in our villages. And we have other sectors. Take, for example, agriculture. we do have officers, but they don't do anything. If we had a functional organogram, we wouldn't be having such challenges. Number two, my colleague, I think Dominic, talked about confirmation of ECD teachers. You know, none of the ECD teachers in this county has ever been confirmed. And we are in the third county government. It means if we had around 1,200 from inception, we should be having more than that, because there is, you know, there is an increase in the number of ECD centers. So if we begin by confirming, later today, if we confirm you, or if this committee confirms you, and subsequent appointment to the position that you've been nominated to, it means one of the things you'll do is to confirm. Then you'll be confirming 1,200. What about the number that we are supposed to have? Lastly, you've talked about the wage bill, and I think that is now the key thing, especially that squarely lies in your docket. You will, while you respond to this, please tell us the best ways of managing this, because we intend to hire some more staff, and we already have 41%.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Rogonja. Honorable Brenda, as you maybe attempt to respond on the one for organogram, I have also noted with concern is that the governor has sent the list of nominees to various dockets, and from the look of things here, it's kind of there have been rearrangements of some various dockets. The key ones, of course, being the one for I'm seeing education. There is now an aspect of libraries. I'm also seeing ICT as gender, youth affairs, and all those. And so, should you be nominated to be the CC for Public Service Management, I think that is where you need to start your work. I'm also realizing when the one for trade, now there's an aspect of innovation which was not there previously. This means that the establishment should be amended accordingly. So you will advise us on the same. Just maybe a comment and a thought and advice so that as you respond to Honorable Rogon on the matter of organogram. Honorable Paul Chirchir.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Once again, Brenda, Bill, congratulations.
Thank you.
My colleague here tells me while you are a member of the County Assembly, you did your job very well. So should you be nominated, please do your job better than you did while you were an MCA.
Thank you.
Now, where do you think the payroll should be run from? Should each department run their own payroll, or we need to centralize it in the Department of Public Service Management? Because the current arrangement is that each department runs their own payroll. Now, should you be approved by this committee, you have told us that service delivery is pegged on having the right number of employees. And at the same time, you're telling us, you're confirming to this committee that the wage bill is actually at 41%, about 6% higher than the required one, the personal emoluments, which should be at 35%. So what will you do to make sure that you balance the two, to have employees, more employees employed for better service delivery, and at the same time do not bust the wage bill? Number 2, this issue of ghost workers. No one is willing to admit that there are ghost workers in most of the counties. The control of budget has introduced a new system where employees will be captured on, it's an integrated system, just similar to the IFMIS one, where you know the IFMIS one operates. So this one will operate more or less like the IFMIS one. And quite a number of employees will not be eligible to be admitted to this new system. Where are these ghost workers? Where are these ghost workers in the county? Number 3, during the inception of county government, there was the aspect of assets and liabilities, as well as employees, those who were in the county council and the defunct county municipal board were taken over by the county government. There are 5 employees from my ward, headed by one Hilda, who have never been, they are nowhere, and yet they were employees of the defunct municipal council. Is that not discrimination? So what are you going to do to make sure that the 5 employees from Kapsoit who have been cleaners in Kapsoit marketplace are taken up like the way the other employees were taken up by the county government of Kericho? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Brenda, it is the wish of every successful government to offer efficient services to its citizens. What is your take on performance contracting? And if approved, how do you intend to operationalize this and make Kericho County public service more efficient? Thank you.
Chairman.
Yes,
thank you, Chairman, for indicating that I speak. Thank you, Mheshimiwa Brenda. I think out of the nominees, you are the only honorable member because you have that name, because you are once an MCA. I want to thank you and thank the governor because at least, Chair, the governor has proven that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even for those of us who have been serving at the county assembly. You can at one time be an executive. And of course, Chair, also, you know, you are the CEC, you are now the speaker, so you are changing roles. And I think that is a good gesture from the governor. And of course, from the members of the county assembly who voted for you to be our speaker, and yet you are the CEC. To my question, Mheshimiwa, I would not want to go further from what the members have said. You remember you are part of the team that we did recommend the county executive to employ the ECD caretakers. In fact, the right word is caretakers. The reason why they were called caretakers is because of what was there then. When the Teacher Service Commission never wanted the county government to employ the teachers. They were saying it is their function. 2, we sat here last year, part 1. There was a petition from the ECD caretakers on their salaries. They petitioned the county assembly and petitioned the Committee on Labor and Social Services and Education at the Senate. We sat here. That committee was co-chaired by Honorable Anthony Ruto, myself, till a teacher gets to earn a salary that he or she will have earned under PNP. We agreed to increase every other financial year. When you hit the salary that you are supposed to have earned when you are in a PNP, you are given a PNP letter. So that was the agreement that we did here, together with the Senate Committee on Education and Labor and Social Services, concerning the ECD, around 1,200 of them, and 800 medics who are under contract. Now that we have a new government in place, the government of Dr. Mutai, and you are part of that government, if this committee approves you, what is your take on that? Will you continue with that agreement that we deposited at the Senate, or what is your plans? Number two, those CCD teachers, some of them, you know, you are aware that when you are above 45 years, you'll never get employed on a permanent and pensionable basis. Some of them are going every other time to retire because the retirement age is at the age of 60. Some of them, they might even go home without getting that confirmation letter. What is your take? I remember one of the teachers was a teacher for the immediate former governor, Chepkony. He used to teach Governor Chepkony at nursery, but he was employed by the governor. So he has served for almost 40 years. She retired with that salary, and there is no even any money that the county government is giving them as they go to retire. What are you going to do, especially to the teachers that might not get the opportunity to be based on permanent and pensionable? I have 5 in my ward as I speak. Lastly, because of time, you will be the head of human resource or public service in our county. You will be managing our human resource. The governor was very, very passionate when he went around the county campaigning that he will make sure that there is sanity at the county public service board. You are aware that somehow the first county public service board was not fair in employment. The second county public service board also has a lot of fairness in terms of employing people. If you got there right, if you get the data of those that have been employed, you will realize that each and every member of that county public service board has employed his daughter, his son, his relative, you know, and the governor was very passionate that he's going to disband the county public service board because of nepotism and skewed employment. You realize there's other places that have more workers than others. What are you going to do? Because the governor was very passionate that we will reform the county public service board. As the head of that institution, what are you going to do? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Cheriot. Honorable Brenda, maybe you can respond to those ones and try to be brief and precise to the point. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I will begin with the questions by the Honorable Anthony Ruta through the Chair on the roles and the functions of the department. Public service is responsible for the supervision and administration of service delivery in the county. The department is manned by 4 directorates, that is Human Resource Management, Administration and Public Participation, Inspectorate and Security, as well as Special Programs and Management of Disaster. The Honorable Member also asked about the devolved units, about sub-county administrators who are given vehicles to monitor and implement programs, but at the moment the sub-county administrators are unable to perform their functions because they are not able to move around and they are not well facilitated. I wish to state that as a county, we haven't fully managed to establish our devolved units. It is clear that we do not have officers for ward administrators in Kericho County. This this makes the county unable to fully participate in the activities of its devolved units because the ward administrators do not have officers and are unable to perform their functions. The honorable member mentioned also that ward administrators, the work has only been left to the members of county assembly. It is my wish and my prayer that together with this house, we manage to empower and facilitate our ward administrators by setting aside money to be able to build the ward officers and fully establish our devolved units as a county, together with the ward and sub-county administrators. Honorable member, if I'm given this opportunity, the mechanisms that I will put in place is to be able to allocate each sub-county administrator a car, as well as a fully furnished office, so that we have representatives from each of the 10 departments, one for health, one for education, and all the departments, so that if there is any issue or an implementation that is supposed to be done, the member of county assembly is able, before they get to the executive, they begin at the ward level, where they can check the status of ongoing projects and be able to establish if the projects that the executive are implementing are on course, and escalate it to the ward administrator and subsequently to the executive member in that order. You also mentioned that my CV mentions that I was a human resource assistant, and you talked about the management and development and subsequent quality surveys. As a county, we must strive to ensure that we are citizen-centric. We must deliver services and take the members of this county as our clients. It is important that when you arrive even at any public facility, you are well received, you are handled with dignity, you are handled with respect, because we are there to serve the people of this county. Sometimes because of lack of training and capacity building for some of our officers, you are handled maybe with some disrespect at some county offices. It is my wish that implementing change of culture, building capacity for employees, we are able to improve our customer experience for all our departments. It is important to provide incentives for our employees to work, like gifts, praise, recognition, awards, so that they are motivated to want to work for the county government. When you're an employee and no one recognizes your work or your efforts, you become lethargic and you are not invested in performing and delivering service. The honorable member also mentioned about enforcement officers. One of the directorates of public service is inspection and enforcement. This is a unit that has not been fully established under public service. We lack enforcement officers for many departments. We don't have enforcement even of traffic marshals. We don't have enforcement, even apart from collection of revenue. We must also enforce other acts that we pass and other pieces of legislation. We must be able to develop units of enforcement even for trade, for markets, for centers, for traffic. We must have enforcement officers. And if possible, have even different uniforms for each of these enforcement officers, so that when you want to park, you know that this is a traffic marshal. When you're at the market and you're a trader, not everybody can come to your stall and collect revenue. You know that this is a person in charge of trade who is supposed to collect your revenue. It is my wish that together with this house, we can increase the allocation to public service. Historically, this department has been quite given a very low allocation because it's mainly for personnel emoluments. It doesn't include a very big development allocation, and this compromises the quality of service delivery. The honorable member also mentioned 150 youth, part of the Chebwagan people who are trained, the youth that were trained on enforcement. Because all employments in county government are pegged on ability to collect revenue. It is my firm belief that as a county, generally both at the executive and county assembly, we must work together to push up our revenue collection generally as a county. This will enable us to employ more people and keep the wage bill at 35% as per what the law was passed. I know that it will be a challenge to absorb these youth, but I firmly believe that we need enforcement officers, and this is where the enforcement is going to come from as part of the dedication to be able to not disappoint also these youth who have been trained and they are jobless at home. It was a good initiative by county government. I commend and applaud the thought behind it. Maybe there were challenges with subsequent implementation, but I think if we work together, we will be able to absorb all this youth and still be able to maintain the wage bill at a reasonable percentage. Through the chair, the question on disaster management by Honorable Dominic. Disaster management and special programs is a key component of public service. Kericho County has not yet fully established the disaster management department. We do not have enough vehicles in the event of a fire. We do not have any personnel who can respond and have a rapid response unit. This hasn't been fully established, and I wish to commit to this House that given an opportunity, we will work together to ensure that we go through all the stages of ensuring that in case of a disaster, we have a rapid response unit. I wish also to ask that we approve requisition of vehicles, even smaller units, to be able to respond quickly. And also we wish to employ the use of preventive measures like training our people, drills in schools, creating awareness around what to do in case of a disaster, and also planning of our buildings. Sometimes we put up structures which are not safe, and in the event of a disaster like a fire, it causes more chaos, and we can mitigate the disaster and lessen deaths by planning our towns better. Honorable Dominic also mentioned the issue of ECD teachers and the status of schemes of service for them. I wish to state that I am not aware on the clear, I cannot give you a clear answer on what the status of the schemes of service are, but I do know that there's a problem in ECD, and I wish to state that given the opportunity and budget allocations allowing, we will try to absorb these teachers at least within 2 financial years. So I wish to say that it is possible, and we can do it, and we can push up our revenue streams in Kericho County. Honorable Anita, through the chair, talked about the health sector, which is fully developed, and some people have a challenge in stagnation in job groups after being inherited from the national government. I wish to state that I will, given an opportunity, I will take a closer look at what the position is, because I am not able to fully comment on the matter because I don't know what the status again of these employees are as of now. But we must be able as a county to provide an environment where there are opportunities for growth in the workspace. This motivates employees, and this creates also employment for the other young people who are coming behind the ones who are already in office. We will also, she also discussed something about public service delivery and motivation of staff. I wish to state that we will create an environment that is safe, that is vibrant, and that is committed to ensuring that every citizen of this county has a good customer experience when they walk into our public utilities. We must employ the use of service charters where we know how quick you can be attended to in a government facility, be it office of the governor, be it county assembly, be it a hospital. What is the turnaround time for acquiring a service that you have come for? She also mentioned on payment of workers, whereby there are delays in payment of workers. I believe it is possible to have a conversation with some of our banking institutions to be able to work out an arrangement where before salaries are processed, because sometimes the delay could be maybe from the national government, they can be able to assist us to pay our workers, and then once the money comes in, we can be able to put that money in their bank accounts. I believe such an arrangement is possible, such a conversation can happen, so that because, like the Honorable Member mentioned, we have people who are earning small money and they have families to feed. Some things cannot wait. School fees cannot wait. I believe it is possible to discuss with our financial institutions on how to mitigate when in the event of such an eventuality. We want also to commit to better service delivery. We have workers who have been discouraged. We have cases of workers who are not competent or active or even happy to be at work. We want to motivate our workforce. We want to train them. We want to build their capacity. We want to create an enjoyable working environment in this county, because at the end of the day, this is our county and we must excel in delivery of service. I want to respond through the chair to the majority leader on the issue of ghost workers. Honorable Member, I have tried to find that information, and according to what I know, we have no ghost workers in Kericho. But given an opportunity, I will be able to know for sure what the status is of ghost workers in Kericho. You also mentioned about staff who have been stagnating, especially lower cadre staff. I believe the reason for this is because we haven't managed to have a vibrant training and capacity building program in Kericho County. We need staff to participate in trainings, get awards, get new skills developed so that they can be able to climb up the ladder. When you're not trained in your field and there's no opportunity to grow, that causes the stagnation of the employees. You mentioned administrative units and the employment of village elders, Nyumba Kumi and their services, and you asked if they deserve a stipend. This, I'm sure, goes back to a budgeting issue. The work that the village elders and Nyumba Kumi do is very essential, especially when it comes to fast response. In the event of a crime, in the event of a road accident, in the event of an issue in the village, these are the first people that we go to. I think it would be best if we were to be able to account, get a list of who the village elders are and Nyumba Kumi, and when they sit, maybe to solve a case in the village, I think through legislation, we can be able to create a small fund that can go towards facilitating them, maybe just like a board. When they sit, they can have a small facilitation, maybe for lunch. But that will be something we will discuss with the House because it goes directly to legislation and budgeting issues. We have the aged and vulnerable in the society. You asked if they deserve a stipend. I think this will go hand in hand with issues of health, so that we are able, together with facilities like NHIF, we could have legislation passed where we have a program or a plan where they can be put, and the county can also set aside funds through legislation and budget to be able to see how many we can accommodate and what kind of issues can be accommodated, because it might not be possible to accommodate every elderly person. Maybe elderly and having a condition. That can be, I can put that as a condition for answering this question. The Honorable Rogoin, through the chair, you inquired about the organogram and people, especially in Department of Agriculture, who are doing nothing. We do have an organogram in Kericho County, and I think I will request the Honorable Cheriadbet to confirm, because we did pass an organogram in the first county assembly. We did pass an organogram in the first assembly. However, implementation of the said organogram has been a challenge. We still have several departments that are critically understaffed. And I wish to state that for departments like agriculture, where the honorable member has specifically mentioned, we will look into empowering some of these employees. Some of them are employed, but they don't have facilitation. They don't have offices. They don't have roles defined. They don't have work to do. I think it will be the role of public service to assign work and have a system where these people are followed, the targets are set, and they are able to have an actual provision of work that they do. You also touched on ECD confirmation. I think I have answered that question through Honorable Dominique's question. You asked about, we have answered that, and you asked about the wage bill and the best way to manage the wage bill. I wish to state that the only way we can manage wage bill as a county is to increase our revenue sources and tighten our collection of revenue so that we do not have leaks and we do not have revenue that is not accounted for. This will be important because we can employ the use of technology, digitization, to be able to know the sources of revenue collection and where the revenue goes and how it is managed. The speaker, the chair, through the chair, you asked about rearrangements of dockets by the governor, for example, trade. It has an innovation aspect which was not there. I wish to say that I do not have anything to comment on that at the moment until I am clear on what aspect of innovation that the governor has mentioned. I will look more into that. The Honorable Paul Chirchir, through the chair, you asked a question about payroll and where it should be run from, because currently as it is, each department manages their own payroll. I think it is important to have a centralized payroll. Each department will generate its own employees, generate a list, and be able to have all payments done from one point for purposes of transparency, accountability, and also to have a point of reference where when something goes wrong, you don't go back to each individual department and say, who is this employee, who is this person. I think when the lists are generated from the departments and assembled at one point of pay, I think it will be easier to manage. I know these are not decisions that I can make by myself or decide by myself, but I know that through further discussions and engagement with other colleagues, other departments, I believe that a work plan can be created to ensure that this happens, and also in consultation with the members of the County Assembly, with the Governor, and members of Cabinet. I know this is not a decision that I can take as an individual. You also asked about how to bring down the wage bill, and I believe I have answered that question by increasing and by saying that we will increase our revenue collection. Honorable member also asked about ghost workers, and I think I have also answered that question. You mentioned about members of your ward who are absorbed from the defunct municipal council and have not yet been captured in the system. If given an opportunity, I wish to tell the honorable member that we will consult and see, because that is a unique case. It's a unique case which I cannot comment on right now, but I believe that we will agree on a way that they can be captured by the system. The honorable member also asked about performance contracting. Performance contracts are tools, honorable member, that help us to be able to follow up on employees, because they set targets that employees are supposed to meet. Performance contracts are an agreement between the employee and the government that they will perform their duties diligently. And this is something which is a key component of service delivery. I wish to commit to this House that performance contracting will be one of the key performance indicators that we will have as a department, so that everybody is motivated to work and they feel encouraged and are able to participate effectively in the delivery of excellence that we are going to strive for in Kericho County. Honorable Cheriot Bate, through the chair, you talked about a recommendation that was done by the Senate Committee on Education about an agreement of increment of salaries per year to the ECD teachers that will be confirmed by the county government. With your permission, I wish to have time, should I be approved, to look into this so that we can have a better conversation and discussion on the matter. However, I wish to state that it is a fair recommendation because our employees must also feel motivated to work, and an increment in salary is one of the key motivators for performance. You mentioned about a 45-year-old teacher. I have nothing to comment on that, honorable member. I don't know what that is. But on the issue, which was retirement benefits for teachers who maybe have passed the age where they can be confirmed on permanent and pensionable terms, I think it is essential as a county government to maybe compile a retirement package. And this is going to be through legislation and, of course, budgetary allowances permitting. You also spoke about the public service and the human resource and bringing sanity at the board. I am aware that we have challenges with the board, and given an opportunity, these are conversations that I believe, together with the governor and the relevant committee of this House, we will be able to have further engagements on the unfair and skewed employments that are done at the board, especially issues to do with nepotism. All officers are governed by the Ethics and Integrity Act, and I think it is important that all members of the board also adhere to this act. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Brenda B. I want to give to Honorable Rogon and honorable members. I think that is the last engagement.
Thank you, Chair. Brenda.
Yes.
This one I want you to answer very precisely.
Yes.
Upon your formal appointment, should this committee gives the appointing authority that green light?
Yes.
What is that thing you'll do the first? Yeah? That is so different from your predecessors. And then number two, you talked of that you need an increase in allocation to this particular department or to this docket you're holding. What is your goal? And lastly, I only commend you on touching on disaster management and the need to use the service charters. Service provision in this county has been wanting in anywhere, be it health, be it getting a service anywhere in this county. It's the worst thing. So I must commend you. Now, you talked about no ghost workers in your due diligence before this vetting. But then you've talked about the need to centralize payroll. Let me give you something funny. Health takes the lion's share, matters budgetary allocation. Health can even take 1.9 billion, and they talk of 1.5 billion going to salaries. Now I wonder, how many health workers do we have in this county that can take a whopping 1.5 billion? So that means there are some elements of ghost workers. That can be a confirmation. Maybe we'll verify it together. Thank you. And I'm giving you my final parting shot. Thank you for the engagement, and you're welcome. Wish you well in your endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can respond to that, Honorable Brenda.
Thank you, Honorable. Going through the chair, the first thing that I will do differently from my predecessors, I think it is important to have a culture of dignity in this county. We must begin to handle each other with a lot of dignity and respect. And I think one of the first steps that we are going to take is to begin to have a culture change where we motivate constantly and build capacity for our staff. We want people to be proud to work for the county government of Kericho. We don't want them to feel like second-class citizens. It doesn't matter which cadre you are employed in. You must have ability to be happy to come to work, perform your duties diligently, and have targets that you must achieve at the end of the day, week, month, and every financial year. That is my passion, and that is what I wish to say will be my first thing to do differently. You also mentioned why I need an increase in allocation in the department. Mainly it is for development, because I feel it is important for us to construct ward officers to be able to perform and complete the cycle of the devolved units in county government. That is the only reason for the allocation. I talked about centralizing of payroll and in particular issue of health workers. Like I had indicated before, this I think it's a much wider conversation than what we can have at this level. I know that everybody is keen on making the payroll lean to be able to accommodate more workers. I want to state that given an opportunity to proceed from here, we will engage further and more comprehensively on the issue. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Because of our time, please, your final comments for the nominee. Honorable Dominic.
Nominee, I wish you well.
Thank you so much.
Honorable Anthony Ruto.
Brenda.
Yes.
Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you.
To deliberate with us several issues. I want to wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
Honorable Anita.
Thank you, Brenda. Want to wish you well.
Thank you so
Given this
much.
opportunity, please change the face of Kericho.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Majority.
Thank you, our nominee. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Honorable Paul.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Brenda Bill B. Wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Brenda, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Brenda, if you get the opportunity to serve as a head of public service in our county, work with the zeal and commitment that you had as a member of the county assembly. Otherwise, I wish you well. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Cheriot Page. Honorable Brenda B, should you get a chance, you shall serve as the head of public service management. Because there is a county secretary who is the head of county public service. Just a clarity on that. Having said that, I want also to wish you the best and to appreciate the engagement that we have had. It has been a pleasure being with you here. You have articulated the issues well, and just pray that all shall be well. The committee will proceed for a retreat and come up with a report on whether you are suitable for the position of public service management. So you as now and your family and friends is just to perhaps pray your God believe you are a Christian. The last time we were with you, you were a Christian in 2013 up to 2017. So maybe your final comments to the committee.
I want to take this opportunity through the chair to thank each and every member of the committee here today for giving me this opportunity to appear before this honorable panel. I am also proud, having sat on the other side of that seat, to be able to sit on this other side as well. Thank you. Have a good day and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Sergeant at arms, you will escort the nominee, and Brenda, there is food, lunch. You are free to join us in, I think it's being served at our common boardroom, as a command. And I know Brenda is aware. I don't know who is taking the other one between the Sergeant at arms and Brenda, but you are welcome for lunch. And maybe before you leave, Brenda, now that you are Christian, I'm requesting you to pray. You can switch off this thing.
Let us pray. God bless us and bless this meal. Before we take it, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you.
So thank you, members. Honorable members, we adjourn up to 3. Let's be back here at 3. What is it? Oh,